Joining us is Zachary Karabell, president of River Twice and a contributing editor at Politico, and Stefan Selig is managing partner at Bridge Park Advisors and the former Undersecretary of Commerce for International Trade under President Obama. Stefan, let me begin. It's difficult to unpack the numbers, but it does seem as though the president likes to focus on, when he talks about trade, on trade deficits, number one, and on deficits in the goods exporting sectors of the economy, not including services. And of course, the United States is a service-oriented economy. Fair point?
That is true and accurate, Tyler. And I think that is because of his view, which is also quite right, that the goods number really relates much more to jobs than the services number, and particularly as it relates to manufacturing. And so that is where this focus, I think, comes from.
So, Zach, when Kayla points out that overall our tariff rate is actually higher than that of Canada, but the president chooses to point to specific areas where Canada's rates are higher, like on dairy, does that undercut a fair point that he makes that there are glaring areas where the United States is being, quote, taken advantage of, end quote, on trade?
You know, it's funny. There was an episode of South Park years ago with a whole song called Blame Canada that was supposed to be a complete parody of the relationship. And like everything else, it's suddenly coming true. You know, to your point, yes, like distorting numbers to make a point is never a particularly good idea, although it is certainly not an uncommon tendency of politicians writ large, meaning this is not, Donald Trump is not the first person to cherry pick data to make a point, right? So it does not help the case, but I'm not sure that the reaction to it of like, oh my God, there's gambling in Casablanca is entirely appropriate either. Meaning, I don't know that every world leader should be, I mean, we may appropriately hold them to a standard of being accurate about numbers, but that just is not the world we live in.
Well, let's talk dairy for a moment, Stefan. He's right. The president is right for calling out Canada for that 270% tariff on dairy. On the flip side, doesn't every nation on this planet defend their agriculture exports? I mean, in our case, it comes in the form of farm subsidies. So isn't that slightly hypocritical?
You're quite right that often the most contentious and difficult to negotiate trade issues revolve around agriculture. But frankly, this was one of the main reasons why we were so focused on these very topics in TPP and the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, which, by the way, the signatories or the G7 nations were largely would have been a part of. So I don't think that there is a debate about the issue that the president raises. The question really is this wrecking ball approach to breaking up relationships and going after folks in the manner that he's going after them going to ultimately be constructive to addressing those issues?
Yeah.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.